Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese. Chinese pot, Chinese pot.
Hi everyone, welcome to Chinese Pod. My name's Gwilym.
Hi everyone, this is Fee. In today's elementary lesson, we're going to learn some ways to use the verb to see. Now I hear you asking me, is that tricky? Well, there's actually a couple of forms the word to see can take in Chinese. So we'll see the different versions. We'll see the different versions in today's dialogue. We'll also be learning a very handy phrase, which is service fee or tips. You know, when you go to a restaurant and you might have to pay service fee. So the context is that they're at a restaurant. They're asking is there a charge? Is there a service fee? But the person can't see the sign that says, yeah, actually we charge 10%.
Okay, so before we listen to the dialogue, what is the word for a service charge or a tip?
服务费. 服务费.
服务, second tone. Fourth tone is the word for service. 费 is a fee.
And what is the verb to see?
看.
K-A-N, fourth tone. Now I want you to pay attention to what goes after can. I want you to try and listen out for whatever goes with can. And we'll go through it together in the discussion. 对话第一遍。
这家餐厅收服务费吗？
收啊，
你怎么知道？
旁边板子上写着收10%服务费。
在哪？我没看见。
你右边的墙上最下面那一句。
字太小了，我没戴眼镜看不见。
第二遍。
这家餐厅收服务费吗？
收啊，
你怎么知道？
旁边板子上写着收10%服务费。
在哪？我没看见。
你右边的墙上最下面那一句。
字太小了，我没戴眼镜看不见。
第三遍。
这家餐厅收服务费吗？
收啊，
你怎么知道？
旁边板子上写着收10%服务费。
在哪？我没看见。
你右边的墙上最下面那一句。
字太小了，我没戴眼镜看不见。
We often have people tell us things like,
I gave learning Mandarin a shot, but then I realized I really don't have enough time to commit to it.
folks who felt this way love Chinese Pod Recap. In as little as 90 seconds a day, you can refresh what you've learned so far while adding a bit of what's new to your daily learning. An innovative language learning tool to fit the busy, fast-paced lifestyle of today's professionals.
Translations.
这家餐厅收服务费吗？
Does this restaurant collect service fee?
这家餐厅收服务费吗？
Does this restaurant charge a tip?
收啊，
Yes,
收啊。
they collect it.
你怎么知道？
How do you know?
你怎么知道？
How do you know?
旁边板子上写着收10%服务费。
The board next to us has it written that they charge a 10% fee.
旁边板子上写着收10%服务费。
It's written on the board next to us that they charge 10%.
在哪？我没看见。
Where? I didn't see it.
在哪？我没看见。
Where? I did not see it.
你右边的墙上最下面那一句。
The wall to your right, right at the bottom, is the sentence.
你右边的墙上最下面那一句。
It's right at the bottom of the board on the wall to your right.
字太小了，我没戴眼镜，看不见。
The characters are too small. I didn't bring my glasses and so can't see them.
字太小了，我没戴眼镜，看不见。
The words are too small. I didn't bring my glasses, so I can't see it.
Alright guys, before we launch into some very interesting vocabulary, let's get this 看见 down first. Okay, so 看, if you translate it, means to see. How about 见?
To see.
So you might be wondering, what are two characters doing together that actually mean the same thing? Well, they have slightly different meanings. It's important to get the concept right. Kan is the action to see, right? Imagine your eyes panning a room, you're looking for something. Then you actually see it. 见, that's the result. Kan is the action of looking around. Imagine your eyes searching for something. 见, you see it. So when you see 看见 together, what it really means is kind of seen. You've already seen what you're looking for.
And if you haven't seen something,
没看见. So, Gwilym, 你有看见我的眼镜吗？没看见.
I did not see it.
I haven't seen it. Now, later on in the dialogue, we hear 看不见. Now, what's all this, right? I thought we already had a negative before. Well, 没看见 and 看不见 actually mean two different things. 没看见, like Gwilym said, is I haven't seen it yet. 看不见, what they're saying is they're unable to see or find whatever you're pointing out at them. All right, so now that we've got some of those definitions down, let's put them aside for a minute and let's go into today's dialogue, and later on you'll see them in use.
Okay, so they come into a restaurant and they ask, does this restaurant charge a service charge?
这家餐厅, this measure word for restaurant, which is 家. 这家餐厅, 餐厅 being restaurant.
收 is the main verb here.
To collect. Do they collect service fee? 收服务费吗? Ma being the question particle. So let's listen to that all together. 这家餐厅收服务费吗?
收 is a first tone. It means to collect or to receive, to accept.
And in Chinese, if you're asked a question with a verb, you usually respond with the verb, right? 收啊.
Now, how do you know?
你怎么知道? 怎么 being how and 知道 being known. How do you know?
Well, it is written on the board next to us.
Now, this is a great sentence to talk about Chinese word order. In English, we're used to locating the smallest, most precise piece of information first. Take an address, right? You always say the house number or whichever flat you're in first. Then you move to the largest thing, being the country. When you're speaking in Chinese, it's important to understand, in the Chinese language, it's always more important to go from large to small. When we speak, we assume that you want to give us the larger context before you give us the precise information. This rule applies to speaking about things, speaking about time. We always go from big, large context to small and precise. Very much the opposite of English.
Okay, so everyone close their eyes and imagine a restaurant. And to the right of you is a big blackboard with some words written on it.
Right, so first you want to direct the speaker to the side, right? That's why they say 旁边, to your side. We don't know if it's left or right, but we know to the side. 旁边板子上. Okay, so we're going from the big picture, moving to the right perhaps. Then we see the board, and then we say on the board, right? 旁边板子上写着. It writes.
It is written.
收10%服务费. So 收 we already know. 服务费 we already know. What's 10%?
This is the way to express percentages in Chinese. Now, in this case, it means 10%.
10%. So 10 parts of 100. If you want to say 20%, you say 20%. How about 70%? 70%.
70%.
没错.
So the thing to remember is the first three characters. 10%.
Yes, exactly. And then you put the percentage that you want afterwards. 10%, 20%, 90%.
Now, where is it? I didn't see it when I came in.
在哪? Where is it? 我没看见. Oh, I didn't even see it. So here is an example of them saying, oh, I didn't even, get to have that action of I saw and then I actually saw it.
They're talking about an experience that they haven't had.
Exactly.
He's not looking around looking for it and he can't find it. He just says he's not seen it.
I haven't even seen it, right? 我没看见. So if we assume 看见 is seen, 没看见 is haven't seen.
Now she further describes where exactly it is, and it's to his right.
Again, moving from large directions to smaller ones. 你右边 to your right 的墙上. So to your right, there's a wall.
And on the wall,
And on the wall, the final sentence at the bottom. 你右边的墙上最下面那一句. 墙 is wall, 上 is on. 最下面 most bottom 那一句 that sentence. I think as beginners, once you get this concept of large to small, things move in chronological order, your word order in Chinese is going to be way better. Just imagine things panning out literally as the things go, right? Imagine, close your eyes and imagine a movie and how you would navigate in a room. That's how you would express yourself in Chinese.
now the problem for him is the characters are too small.
字太小了. The characters are too small. 我没戴眼镜. What are 眼镜?
These are glasses, and the tones are very important. It's a third tone and a fourth tone.
眼镜. The reason Willem says to be careful is because the word for eyes is 眼睛.
So let's have a little memory tip for remembering them. I often drop my glasses, so I think dropping is like a fourth tone. So 眼睛 goes from high to low. You're dropping them, and the opposite is...
We hope you don't drop your eyes. They're just flat on your face, right? So flat like a first tone. 眼睛. Now, he doesn't have glasses, so he's looking for it, but he's not able to see it. 我没戴眼镜，看不见。看不见 is different to 没看见。
I guess you could say, I'm looking but not seeing.
Yes, so I'm unable, right? I'm trying my best, but my eyes just won't allow me to see the thing that you're pointing at. 没看见 is simply I didn't have the experience. I didn't even see it. Whereas 看不见 is I'm trying to, but I still can't.
I physically can't see it. It's invisible to me.
All right, well, we've got to the end of the dialogue, and now it's time for you to listen again and see if you can catch a bit more information this time around.
Okay.
好，那我们再来听听今天的对话。
Hi, my name is Lucy Henderson, and I wanted to tell you about some of the changes that we are making to our podcasts. So, in the past, we maintained one podcast in which we have been publishing all our episodes across all proficiency levels. But we listened to a lot of feedback, and you were telling us that it is not really beneficial for a beginner to have advanced level podcasts in the mix. And likewise, intermediate and advanced learners do not really benefit from beginner lessons. Therefore, this August, we will split our feeds into separate feeds. Chinese Pod Newbie, Chinese Pod Beginners, Chinese Pod Intermediate, and a Chinese Pod Advanced, which will be in Chinese only with no English. So, why am I telling you that? It is because if you are subscribed to this feed, you will suddenly see podcasts ending. And that won't be because Chinese Pod is no longer publishing those, but because you need to pick your specific feed. And for any more information, or if you have any feedback on our podcasts, we welcome you to visit ChinesePod.com/podcasts.
对话第一遍。
这家餐厅收服务费吗？
收啊，
你怎么知道？
旁边板子上写着收10%服务费。
在哪？我没看见。
你右边的墙上最下面那一句。
字太小了，我没戴眼镜看不见。
第二遍。
这家餐厅收服务费吗？
收啊，
你怎么知道？
旁边板子上写着收10%服务费。
在哪？我没看见。
你右边的墙上最下面那一句。
字太小了，我没戴眼镜看不见。
第三遍。
这家餐厅收服务费吗？
收啊，
你怎么知道？
旁边板子上写着收10%服务费。
在哪？ 我没看见。
你右边的墙上最下面那一句。
字太小了，我没戴眼镜看不见。
Right, at this point, you're probably quite tired, but I do want to add one more piece of information. Another common way to express seeing something or not being able to see something is 看到 versus 看见, right? So the structure applies. 看到没看到看不到 Same goes for 看见没看见看不见 Now, technically, very subtly, these can mean two different things, but at your level, they're interchangeable. The subtleties are so subtle that it doesn't really affect normal everyday conversation. If you're interested, we're going to do a 清文 on this and we can talk about it in more detail, but just wanted you to be aware that some people might say 看不到 as opposed to 看不见, and they both mean unable to see. And the same goes for 看见, right? I can see it, and 看到, I can also see it.
Okay, we encourage you to take a look at the lesson notes so that you consolidate what you've heard today.
好，那我们下次见，再见。
As usual, ChinesePod provides an extensive selection of learning materials for this lesson on its website, www.chinesepod.com. You can access this lesson directly with the lesson number 3057. So just go to www.chinesepod.com/3057 and you will find a transcript, vocabulary, and much more. The link again, www.chinesepod.com/3057.
Chinese Pod, Chinese Pod.